In the Philippines, there are incredibly rich, golden, creamy desserts. Desserts in which the egg yolk is not a detail, but the very heart of the recipe. The curious thing is that this abundance does not come from the kitchen. It comes from elsewhere. During the Spanish colonial period, in fact, egg whites were used on construction sites. To understand why Filipino desserts are the way they are, we have to talk about churches. Before the arrival of Europeans, Filipino desserts were simple: fresh fruit, coconut, banana, mango, watermelon. Direct flavors tied to the land and the tropical climate. Sugar existed, of course, but complex desserts, those based on eggs, were rare. Cooking reflected an essential, practical, deeply local way of life. In 1565, the Philippines officially entered the Spanish sphere. Conquerors, missionaries, religious orders, Franciscans, Jesuits, Augustinians. With them came new habits, new recipes, and above all, new architects. The Spanish began building large stone churches throughout the archipelago, buildings designed to last. But building in a tropical territory was not easy. Here the story takes an unexpected turn. To make the concrete more durable, a mixture called argamasa was used. Inside there were brick dust, sand, and egg whites. It was believed, and numerous historical documents confirm it, that egg whites made the mortar more durable and compact. For decades, perhaps centuries, millions of eggs ended up on construction sites. By the end of the 18th century, even the Manila Cathedral was coated with a mixture that included duck eggs and bamboo sap. And at this point, a question becomes inevitable. If you only use the egg white, what happens to all the yolks? Throwing them away would have been an enormous waste, especially in an era when food had a very concrete value. The answer is surprisingly simple. The yolks ended up in the kitchen. And so, almost out of necessity, new recipes were born, richer, denser, more caloric desserts. Not for luxury, but for adaptation. It is precisely during the colonial period that Filipino cuisine changes its face. The massive use of yolks opens the way to a new idea of dessert: denser, richer, more intense. The flan de leche is born, a soft, compact dessert with a glossy surface. It resembles a creme caramel, but it is richer and deeper in flavor. Each spoonful is a balance of sweetness and creaminess, without unnecessary lightness. Then there is the yema, perhaps the most symbolic of all. It is made almost entirely of yolks, sugar, and milk. It is slowly cooked until it becomes a dense, almost caramelized cream, then shaped by hand and often wrapped in colored paper. Small, simple, powerful. There is tocino del cielo, literally backen of heaven. A curious name for an even richer dessert. Very little flour, many yolks, an almost compact consistency, designed not to be light, but to truly nourish. And finally, pan de San Nicolas, a spiced cookie often shaped into symbolic forms tied to religious festivals. Here the dessert also becomes a story, a ritual, a passed-down tradition. These desserts are not born to impress. They are born not to waste, to turn an excess into something good, and over time they become identitive. On church construction sites, it was not only men who worked. Documents tell of women and children carrying eggs and sand. Priests offered a few coins in exchange for materials and labor. So while churches grew toward the sky, cooking went on in homes. Two parallel worlds, stone and sugar, faith and everyday food. Spanish rule ended in 1898, but the taste did not. Even today, Filipino desserts make extensive use of egg yolks, not because they are used to build churches, but because that tradition has remained. It is a memory you can eat, a silent heritage. Every dessert tells a story that few people know.